Hey, what's going on? And welcome to the very first Tilted Takes podcast. I'm so excited to finally hit the record button, to finally get this show on the road. It's been not a long time coming. It was like a random idea that me and my buddy had. We decided to throw it on, and we're doing it. We don't even give a shit. We're just going for this. Tilted Takes podcast. My co-host, it's the Panda Bear. How's it going today?
What up, man? It's going pretty good. I've been pretty pumped for this. I'm excited to get rolling.
Yeah, you've had a long day at work today, I'm sure. How was work? How was work?
Oh, man, just the daily grind of
Daily grind.
construction. It is
Go
what it
to
is.
go to work, come home, play Fortnite.
Oh yeah, that's just what I do, man. Fortnite is the life. The amount of time I've put into this game, I'm glad they stopped tracking.
It's been, I mean, for me and you both, obviously grew up in the same neighborhood. We've been very, very close friends for a long time. There's been games in our lives that we've been like, okay, this game I'm hardcore addicted to. Like you fall asleep and you have dreams about it, or you like you're at work and something happens and you're like, that reminds me of Fortnite. Like it's been a while for me personally. There's like one other game that I will probably mention later on the podcast when I give a little more of my background. But for it's been a while. Like I'm talking like Call of Duty Modern Warfare a while that I've been this obsessed.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree. I mean, I'm the same way, obviously, and I mean, for you, even worse than dreaming. I mean, you didn't even dream about it. You fell asleep while playing it. I mean, there were times you just wake up in a cave, stuff chasing you, you just didn't know what was going on.
Now
So, I
that
mean, no, I mean,
that's our
video games have
12
always
hour
been a big
bingers.
part of our friendship, obviously, and I mean, it's video games are where it's at, man. Fortnite is definitely bringing back the old days, and just it's great to, like I said, it's great to get going again.
Yeah, this is like one of the first games too that where it's not just a game anymore. It's like literally the culture. Like if you're not cool if you don't know what Fortnite is, and everyone knows what Fortnite is. So it's not just like, oh, you're one of those gaming nerds. Like everyone is in on Fortnite. It's crazy.
Right, and I mean, it's something that, like you said, I mean, it's taken over. I mean, you go up to a guy and you're like, as soon as you find out you play Fortnite, first thing you ask, have you won a game? And as soon as that, then there's that whole competitive edge. And I know, especially me personally, super just uber competitive. Like, all right,
Hmm.
how many wins you got? And then you just start comparing, going back and forth. And then, God
Right.
forbid, you start talking for the next 2 hours about strategies, and it gets insane.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's definitely one of those things that are like people just relate with, and it doesn't really matter who they are. But if you see a 10-year-old on the street now, and let's say you're wearing like a Fortnite shirt, or somehow that kid sees that you're something to do with Fortnite, or you know Fortnite, that kid's probably gonna be like start talking to you like, oh my god, you know you play Fortnite. You know these even there's so many little kids that play in this game. There's such the age range is insane on this game.
Oh, exactly. I mean, you're talking anywhere from 8-year-olds playing with Tim the Tatman in a random duo, Courage and his 10-year-old army, and you got people like us, people that are just finishing college. You got your mid 20s, just that grew up with games like this, not necessarily like Fortnite, but games that like you spent time with your friends. Like you'd have those nothing better than that weekend sleepover, staying up till God knows when, playing like a Modern Warfare 2 or any game like that, where you and your buddy just really connected and you could talk about it all night. And just, I mean, and even then, you got people that are even older than this. So it's one of those games that is definitely bringing everyone closer. It's connecting all ages of the community, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Right. Yeah, so another thing that me and you are very much interested in um, is esports and the competitive side of things. Me personally, give a little background on myself, then we'll let Panda give a little background of his name or himself, and we'll talk about our names, where our names come from. Just so this is going to be a complete pilot. This is going to be an intro. We're going to break down what we want this show to be like. Hopefully, the people that are listening to the very first episode, and if they didn't listen to it, the first episode, maybe we've already had 50 episodes out and they're back listening to episode one. Who knows? That could be a possible thing as well. But we're just going to explain who we are, where we're coming from, why we're starting this podcast in the first place. Like I said, my name is Endless. Endless55 is my gamer tag in most of my games I play. Where that name came from originally, when I started with Xbox 360, I had the name it's something something. I'm not going to say what it is because it has my last name in it. We're gonna keep the identity hidden, folks. But that
Shh.
yeah, quiet. It was I copied my brother. It was a typical younger thing to do. I copied my older brother. I had a similar name as his, and then a lot of my friends did the whole it's the Panda Bear. That's where you have one as well.
That's where I
We
got mine. I
we
mean,
we
mine,
had that it's
like you
clan.
said, right? Oh yeah. I mean, like you said, like where we grew up with those video games. And I mean, I didn't. I grew up with PS2, and then I just made that switch to 360 because of you and your brother and the older friend. So I mean, I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna join in
Right.
with the name as well. Like I'm not just gonna get the game and not join the name group.
Yeah, so when we made the switch over to Xbox One, we wanted to get rid of the old names. We were tired of them. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do this random name and see what happens. So my brother did his random name, and he got like Crude Sloth and some numbers. And I did my random name, and I got Endless Marlin. So I thought it was pretty. It was just a funny name, Endless Marlin. He was Crude Sloth. I stuck with it. I got rid of the Marlin when I switched over to another game I play a lot called Vainglory. So now I'm just Endless. It's a classic name. It's just normal, just endless. But other than that, I love competitive games. Like I said, I have another game called Vainglory. I have a podcast about Vainglory, and I follow that competitive scene very closely. And there hasn't been another game that I enjoy as much until Fortnite came out. So that's why I wanted to start a Fortnite podcast specifically on the esports scene and following the professional scene, the competitive scene, everything that's happening within esports.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, it was like I said, I was that guy that had that PS2. I was lucky enough to where my dad was a manager of a GameStop
Ooh,
back when I think it was
yeah.
called like Babbage's. So I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like throwback, like old day, old timey shit. So then, I mean, it was kind of cool. Like we had, I mean, I got lucky. Like I said, with him being the manager, we got stuff like we had a GameCube. He went to some conference for a couple days one time. He came back with an Xbox when it was kind of the thing. So I mean, we had the wide range of games. So then I went from that PS2 to 360, hanging out with Endless over there. Um, and for me, I don't, you know, the way Panda Bear came out of it all was such a weird thing because, like I said, like it was back in the day. I think that Gummy Bear song,
hmm
like I'm a Gummy Bear. I think that was just, and I think it was one of those late night slap happy, like 2, 3 in the morning, and that song's playing, and I'm just sitting there saying I'm a panda bear instead of a gummy bear, and just kind of clicked.
Next thing you know.
So then that's where we were. It's the panda bears where that came out. Um, and then so I mean after that I did not go Xbox One. My more of my background is I'm a huge sports guy, so that's where my competitiveness kicks in as well as the video games. Um, and so baseball being a big one. Shout out to the Red Sox. Um, I had to get a PS4. PS4 was where I went with it, so I could play that game. But then also that way, obviously, I could continue playing some of the newer stuff. And when it came back to the PS4, because I had changed my name a couple times on the 360, just messed around with other friends and stuff like that, and I was like, you know what? It's time to go back. It's time to go back to those roots, and especially when Fortnite came out. Fortnite came out, and you get to pick that profile name. Back to the roots, man.
Oh heck
It's the
yeah.
Panda Bear was back. So no, so that's where I came from. That's my background. Like I said, sports, video games. That's where my competitiveness, and so that's what makes me love the competitiveness of Fortnite and just the video game community as a whole. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, esports is I've been diving more and more into it with the game Vainglory that I follow. You know, I cast for amateur leagues. I follow the pro scene and the Premier League of Vainglory very closely, and just seeing a lot and following the esports scene as a whole as I've gotten older throughout my college years. I've really seen like how esports will be the thing to be a part of in the future. And
definitely,
another thing that I truly have always enjoyed is just talking to friends about it. With Vangler, it was my brother. So we started our podcast together because we always would text back and forth, hey, did you see this? Did you see this play? Did you see this? So I was like, why don't we just make a podcast and talk about it and maybe have other people listen and enjoy it as well? Same thing with Fortnite. With you, my brother, other buddies, we always are constantly sending messages about Fortnite. And it's like, why don't we just throw this podcast together and that way we can have a platform where we can talk about it. If people listen, great. If it's just our buddies that listen, great. All we won't care about is that we get to sit down once a week, maybe twice a week, just depends how busy we are, and just throw things back and forth at each other about Fortnite, opinions, controversies, anything that's happening within the scene. And that's pretty much our plan. I mean, I know me and you already have really been diving into the Keemstar tournaments. And these, because right now, currently, as we're recording this episode, Panda, you can talk about this in a little bit with as much as you have knowledge of. But there is no really Fortnite esports yet. Epic kind of had just made the announcement about the $100 million, I do believe so, have been put towards esports, and that's a lot of money to go towards esports.
definitely. And I mean, I saw a graphic out like a week ago or whatever, and I mean, it tops every single game prize pool out there right
Hmm.
now. And I mean by far, like I'm pretty sure it was a very hefty amount that 100 million topped. So no, Epic definitely putting a good foot forward here with the community. And yeah, like you said, I'll definitely throw some more input at that whenever that comes around.
Yeah, we'll have to see because there's going to be a lot of information that continuously comes out. But what the community is doing currently is they're creating their own tournaments, they're creating their own versions. They're giving the fans that excitement, that crazy games that are happening with the Keemstar format, and that's a 2v2. You jump two players on each team, you jump into a full squad, and then the each team of two they slay out as many kills as possible. That's kind of it's been extremely exciting to watch. Now we go look at the pro screen that me and Panda have been watching on Twitch. Some of these smaller professional players that have really entered the scene early, they're doing pro scrims. They all queue up together because there's no custom games yet. We'll talk about that as well. The playground coming out later and later on, hopefully. Um, but
It should be a few weeks.
yeah, yeah, hopefully it's soon. But we've been seeing them just the meta right now is a very weird place. We've seen a lot of pros talk about it. We've seen teams even take a break from the scrims because they're just not really happy where the meta is at. They want things to change because it's a turtle meta. Everyone, you get last circle when you still have 10 teams up, and that's almost 40 players last circle. Can you imagine the chaos? Like that's a lot right now. So that's going to be the type of things we discuss on this podcast going forward. Is we follow as many people as possible. We want to see we're in Discords, we're on Reddit, we're doing our own research when it comes to talking to this player that may have this opinion, or talking to other people that have opinions about it, and just really formatting our own, and then having this discussion on the podcast. And that's one thing we really want. What else has been happening? What else is going to be happening that we're going to be discussing? I guess like the E3 event, that would be a big thing we discuss.
E3's big. And obviously the nice thing about Fortnite is that it's growing. And so
Hmm.
that means there's a lot of room to grow in the competitive scene. There's a lot of room to grow in these tournaments. And there's a lot of room to grow for this podcast, God willing. So I mean, it's something that like we said, it's really exciting now. And the growth of it all has been just a skyrocket. And hopefully it keeps going from there. So I think definitely just those different aspects of it all, the growth, the competitiveness, everything put together is definitely an exciting time for Fortnite and anybody that's interested in Fortnite.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know about you. I very slightly followed PUBG for a bit, just kind of seeing how it was as a whole, how the esports worked on the competitive format and on the top leagues, and you just see a lot of people having problems with the competition. It was a squads, there was a lot of just turtling, and a lot of people weren't fans were not really enjoying the matches, I should say, and that's what a lot of people want Epic to want Epic to do. Want Epic to come up with something more special when it comes to making sure whatever competitive format they decide, it is exciting to watch, and the fans are exciting, not just for the pros but also for the fans, because if your fans are not like really into what's happening, obviously you're not going to have the viewers. That's what's most important, and that's what we've been seeing earlier with Keemstar. Is you have tons of people that enjoy this format. It's not necessarily about who gets that victory. It's not necessarily which last team standing, but there's different strategies involved. People just need to slay out, get as many kills as possible, and we've been seeing crazy strategies across the board.
The different things looking at in all those tournaments is just definitely the format of it all. I mean, the Keemstar tournament, we could talk. I mean, that could be an entire podcast alone.
It will be.
Just the way that's set up. Right, exactly. Foreshadowing. Da da da. But no, so it's those kind of things that I mean, it makes you wonder and just different looks of where the actual kind of epic base tournaments will be. And like you said, the turtling is definitely a problem right now. It's something that people don't want to see. People don't want to see these slow innings. They want to see the action. And again, and like you said and mentioned, that's what this Keemstar tournament's doing
Hmm.
by making you slay out. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. You could die 10 minutes into the game, but if you got 20 kills and tilted, there you go.
Yeah.
So definitely, I think the thing to look for is what Epic's gonna do with the formatting and what kind of value you bring to kills.
Right. Because back to this $100,000 or $100 million prize pool stuff, that may not be for one tournament, right? That's just the prize pool they have set over for a whole year. So you may see different small tournaments happening here and there. You could see Epic adapt Keemstar's type event and run one of their own. You see them doing this with E3, where it's celebrities paired up with the pros, which we will do hopefully a full episode on that. We'll break down the main streamers, YouTubers with the pro or with the not pros with the celebrities. But in that money that they have for that event is like 3 million, and that's all charity. That's not even included the original esports. So you're seeing Epic already do these big events, and again, this isn't just going to be within the esports world. That's going to be mainstream. You're going to see major news outlets discussing about how all these famous people played a video game for charity. So that's going to be really interesting to see. But yeah, like you already mentioned, going forward is it's going to be interesting to see what Epic does. We've already had major discussions. I like 2v2 better, or I like the duos better than squads. Some people would rather see squads in competitive. It's just going to be that's what we're going to be talking about here, and hopefully even including the listeners, whether it's on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at Tilted Takes. We are the Tilted Takes podcast. We have a lovely, lovely image. It's the llama. It's Dr. Lupo's and Ninja's famous llama. I can explain, and I absolutely love it. It's pretty hilarious seeing the llama on the front page there. But make sure you guys follow us on Twitter there. You can follow me on Twitter as well, which is at Endless55VG. And then you can follow Panda on Twitter at It's the Panda Bear, I think.
Yep, with a Z and a D. No, the easy way to do both of those is obviously just if you go to the Tilted Takes podcast profile, our names are in the description. So if you like the podcast, you want to follow, you want to give us a like, you want to tweet at us, please do. We would love to talk to you guys already if anybody new's listening, and we'd love to hear your takes. And yeah, follow our profiles as well, because we're gonna try to retweet and get out as much info as we can, especially even starting hopefully this Friday with week what is it, week 5, I believe?
I think it's week 5
of the Keemstar tournament. So yeah, I mean we're gonna try to chug out some content for you guys.
Right. And our goal is of the podcast is if it does grow, like if it happens a chance where people enjoy this and it's something they'd like to like content they enjoy to take in, a Discord page is possible. We get our own Discord going. That way we can all have a place to chat. I'm going to hopefully be able to put this out on YouTube because I know tons and tons of Fortnite people are on YouTube. They enjoy the content there and just do like an audio podcast on YouTube. I'll be on iTunes and Google Play and then all the other major podcast apps through my hosting service that will put it on there. So once that gets all finalized, by the time you're listening to this, obviously those links have been finalized, and we'll probably have the links for the different areas that you can listen to. Spotify should be a thing as well. That's also still being discussed, but you get to decide where you want to listen to it. If you enjoy listening to it on YouTube because you're on there a lot, you can do that. Maybe we'll even down the line upload gameplay. Probably not though, because I don't know about you, Panda, but I don't always have the best gameplay to upload.
I have a lot of wins, but I've played a lot of games, so
well, this is one thing
not the best stuff to watch.
I want to discuss with you. You have a lot of wins, but it's pretty funny when we play. I play on PC, right? So, like I've already mentioned, my background's always been controller and hand Xbox. I made the switch to PC in December, so it's not been that long ago, 6 months, half a year, and I really just started really grinding Fortnite. So I'm still trying to adapt to the PC. I'm still trying to get used to that. So when I play with you, Panda, you're on PlayStation, so we play that cross-platform, and you're always like, God dang it, I'm tired of playing against this PC crap.
There are just some times where it's like hitting my head against the wall because, as fun as PS4 is and as decent as a builder as I am, I ain't no Nick Merckx. I ain't out here building with PC players on PS4.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, there are definitely times where I want to not necessarily punch my screen, but I mean, head banging on the wall. God, there's nothing worse than getting built up on. It makes you feel like less of a player.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was me and you that were playing. That we were duos, and then next thing you know, we look up and there's like a ramp 6 wide coming up on us. And we both just stood there like
in moisty mire.
Oh, what do we do here? It's just like a 6 wide ramp. They're just coming at us like a full pro team. What?
And I think you're trying to build. You're like, all right, let's go get them. And I'm like, I'm gonna go over here and try to shoot it out. Don't know how to do this.
Yeah, Today was a good. We both stream like for fun, not for like top tier gameplay. Like I said, I'm trying to get. Yeah.
If you're looking for top tier god play, not us. If
not
you're
yet.
looking for people that are gonna sit around, joke with their friends, joke with each other, throw some punches under the belt, probably die a lot, and probably die in some funny ways. I mean, honestly, the ways we die are probably funnier than anything we do. So I mean, if you want to watch some very average gameplay with some fun jokes and fun friends and just fun times overall, that's what we stream.
Yeah, my title for Fortnite recently has been 101 ways to lose at Fortnite. That's what I've been rocking because it's true. That's basically how my streams go. Like I die in 100 different ways. Like today I had
Oh
one
yeah,
of the greatest deaths, and I don't remember what it was, but it was just one of those moments that I just wanted to like shut my stream off and pretend that never happened. Like I can't believe that just happened. But today I can admit I had like my most kill game today. I didn't win it, but I had like 11 kills. That was amazing.
still searching for that PC solo.
Yes, it's been a while. Well, I don't have that many hours on the game. I've literally only played solos for like an hour when it was. I guess it's not even keeping track anymore, is it?
I'm not sure if it is or isn't.
It's like I
I
don't.
don't
Yeah,
think it is
I
for
think
a
it's a
while. There was
bug,
at one time
but
they stopped. Yeah, one time
yeah.
they stopped. But
Anyways, I don't have that long on it, so I'm trying to get that first PC win. And it's crazy because it's like you watch the pros or like the big streamers stream. When they get to the last two, the last person they play against is always like a nobody. And every last person I play against is a god. I'm like, when am I going to get that lucky chance that I'm a 1v1 situation and that last person is a no skin noob?
plot twist, you're the noob.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I know. That's literally what it's been is I'm the 1v1 situation and I'm the noob. I need to
You're that guy that they're like screaming, "Hey, I'm gonna launch pad off of this sky base and no scope,
yeah, yeah.
and then build him in with a trap box."
So I'm trying to make that transition to be on the other end of that, right? That's what I'm trying to do.
Right. I mean, we've gotten some dubs and duos. We've gotten a couple squads. Like we've
Right.
we've we've won.
We
Don't get
definitely
us wrong.
yeah, I definitely
We're
do
bad,
win in
but
duos
we
and
win.
squads, but no, we have definitely we play a lot of squads. Like we kind of talked about on I don't know if it was a stream or just in general the other day. We are talking about how so many of our friends play this game that we can never get on and play duos without getting an invite from this person or this person or this person. And everyone's like, "Hey, let's play
Oh, it's insane.
squads." I'm like, "Can we just play duos for a bit? Can we all
I
just
mean,
break into groups?"
I've literally been in PS4 parties where, and it was annoying. We had to stop where we had two full squads playing,
You don't
and
know
so
what
it's loud when one full
comms.
squad plays. Well, it's bad enough, but when you got a guy who's terrible at comms in general, no name drops here, but he's in the other game, and you just hear three times, "Hey, over here." I mean, it just you never know.
Where do you
So yeah,
be?
8 people in a party, two full squads. It is hectic as all holy hell.
Yeah. Oh man, but like we said, we're me personally, I'm trying to get the keyboard thing down. So once it does, maybe my streams will be more entertaining to watch. Maybe I'll make better plays. But that's just it's a Fortnite is a fun thing to play even though you suck, and that's what's probably great about it is even though I'm losing, I'm still like thoroughly enjoying it. It's like golf. I've made this analogy a few times. Once on stream, a couple times on whatever. But, for if anyone there's golfers out there, you hit one good shot, you're like, "Dang, I want to keep playing this game because I hit that really good shot." Fortnite, you get like 8 kills and you had a really good game, you're like, dang, I want to try again. Like I'm getting better. And then the next 6 games you die immediately. But it's just that one time you have success that keeps you hooked.
See, it's a good analogy, but I think I'm better at Fortnite than golf. So yeah,
Stick with the Fortnite.
right.
All right, yeah. So Pan and I's goal, this, like I said, this is our intro just to who we are, the goal of the podcast, and it's literally just going to be covering, you know, Fortnite as a whole, but we're not going to always be breaking down just general news like some of the other podcasts do. We're going to be really trying to stick to the esports scene and the competitive side. So we may break
Try to
down
be different.
right, we may break down patch notes if we think that's going to, affect the competitive scene. For instance, today,
Right, and that way it's the competitive advantages or
mhm,
disadvantages of it all. It's not just necessarily going out and looking at the notes and letting you know what's there,
right.
but like you were, and I'm sure you were going to talk about like the shotgun damage and talk about the ways that the
Yeah.
competitive has that. So yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, shotgun damage got nerfed today. A lot of people are talking bad, good. Daquan just released it. They kind of put out a video. He's like, it's not a big deal. People can't one pump me anymore. I can't one pump then. It's still a skill matchup. It's definitely less damage, but you got to adapt. That's what you have to do. He understands why Epic did it. I haven't played it yet, so I don't know how different it is. We'll have to see. Heavy shotgun does more damage now, headshot wise. I think the heavy may be a better duo to
So I
run.
don't think it actually changed. I think it just does more base damage.
Okay,
It
okay.
does more headshot damage now, but I think it's when they say that, I think it's just more than the pump, not more than
Got
it
it, got it,
was.
got it. So it just has a
So yeah,
better effect now because of the pump's nerfs. But things like
which I mean
that,
makes sense because at the end of the day, it's a purple and a gold weapon.
yeah, that's true. When you see your people literally pick up a blue pump over a gold heavy, a purple heavy. But
Yeah, and I mean, see, guys, this is what we're talking about. We talk about one thing, and it just goes on. That's all we want to do. We just want to just give you guys the kind of things we talk about and let you know our thoughts.
yep. And we're going to cover all the stuff competitive wise, drama between players, teams, new people coming and entering the scene, that kind of stuff. We're just going to cover it all as much as possible. Tweeting. So we'll tweet out a lot of things when it comes to even clips from Fortnite Fridays, that kind of Friday Fortnite, sorry, all that kind of stuff. So again, follow us on Twitter at Tilted Takes. I don't know if I have anything.
It's the Panda Bear.
At It's Panda Bear, yes, and at Endless55 VG. You can find those two names at Tilted Takes. Give us a follow. Tell your friends about us. If you like it, wait a couple episodes, maybe get a feel for what we're going to be doing when we actually start talking about the competitive scene more. Um, Interviews is something that we obviously would love to do. Once we start getting into the scene more, maybe we'll find our way in with some smaller pros, get some like actual professional opinion on issues and hear them out. That obviously would be ideal. I know fans of podcasts love to hear from people that are in the scene. Are we gonna pull Myth, Daquan, Hamlins, and Ninja back to back to back to back? Nope, I can guarantee you we won't do that. They don't have the time for a podcast like this probably right now. But
Yet.
still
Yet.
yet but still talking to some of the smaller pros and people that are actually in the pro scrim and like deal with the competitive scene as a whole would be really great to talk to you. So down the road we'll start doing those as well, but really it's going to be a one-on-one between me and Panda, throwing shit back and forth at each other, disagreeing, agreeing, coming up with new ideas, so on. But Panda, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
I don't. I mean, again, we'd love to get your opinions. So if you do listen and you like it, go ahead and give us your thoughts. Give us what you think about the podcast. Give us what you think about our ideas, our thoughts on the game, anything like that. Let us know. Obviously, we've given you the social media stuff, so just let us know there.
You
And
could
I
email
mean,
us at tiltedtakes@gmail if that's like your preferred way of contacting
yes.
us. Email is like an old thing for me. It's just Twitter DMs now. But um, yeah. But other than that, I don't think we have anything else. I think this is a good pilot, a good intro to us and our goals for the show. Like I said, hopefully we'll just start talking about Friday Fortnite, talk about the E3 event coming up and what we're excited for and who we think will win, giving predictions and so on. As long as we have time to do this, full-time job for Panda and full-time student for me starting in the fall again. We'll try to work through our schedule and continue it on. But the links will be out as well. Subscribe to the YouTube page that will be coming out. I'm sure it should be if you can subscribe there if you enjoy watching it there. That's all great. But other than that, I don't have anything else. Do you?
I don't, man. I'm excited to see where we go.
Heck yeah, let's do this. All right, guys, keep rocking out there on that island. I hope you guys get some dubs.
GG's, everybody.